all right. Party people in the place to be, vandals, and all you transgressive, extreme people out there. This is a brand new episode of How'd We Get Here? And tonight we're going kind of in an exploitation style. We're going to be talking about a transgressive comic by a fellow that's here with us tonight. Go ahead and introduce yourself. How are you doing this fine evening, sir?
Hey guys, my name is Charlie, and the creator of Tommy's over there. That was just flashing by the screen really fast, with some art by the Mellow in the chat there. It's pretty awesome.
Cool. And then you got a big fan here, Beth.
Oh, dude, that's my ex-girlfriend. She's a stalker. Yeah, so I don't know about that. I'm just joking.
Hey, it's good that your woman supports you, man.
Yeah, totally.
Whether it's stalking or not.
Yeah, no, she's cool. We were supposed to go see Hum this weekend, and I opted not to go to the show, so I was like kind of depressed about that, but just because I need to save money for a trip.
You think you missed the train to Mars? You're out back counting stars?
Yeah, dude. They're playing Slide Fest with Nothing and a bunch of other like young bands that are coming up. So I've never seen Hum yet, and that's one of my bucket list bands. So
cool. Yeah, I didn't know they were back. Well, literally every band from like any genre of my lifetime is like back together right now. Everything's in revival right now, so I shouldn't be surprised. But yeah, that's cool. That's a deep cut, man. Like that.
Yeah, dude. I don't think Hum is like on that track for being like a 401k tour band. They're very rare to come up, so it's like kind of secretive, like shit they do.
They only had the one album, right? The green one with the donkey. No,
they got three. Yeah,
three. They're
really good records too. You talk about the donkey, the zebra with like the.
Oh yeah, it was
their green record.
Yeah, the one that had stars on it.
Yeah.
That's the only time like I really heard of them. My bad. I liked them. I thought they were cool, but like, yeah, they kind of just skated out of my memory at a time. I kind of really remembered them when I got Saints Row 2, and like that song was like all the way through that game pretty much. If you listen to the rock station, and I was always jammed out.
Was it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's really cool. New knowledge for me.
But yeah, man, we're going to get deep into it with Charlie in just a minute. But Joe, it's your half of the intro, bro.
Yes, sir. So this episode of How'd We Get Here is brought to you in collaboration with Power Pulp Comics. The best of self-published comics, all under one roof. Over 50, I don't even know how many creators they have on there now. They have probably well into 60.
New one today. Yeah, brand new today.
Yeah, well into 60 creators, over 150 books, 160 books on the site. So go check it out at powerpulpcomics.com. If you're a retailer, bookstore, or comic shop, they have wholesale deal for retailers. You go on the site, fill out a form to get your account, and you get 50% off for retail wholesale. And all orders exceeding $200 get free domestic shipping within the U.S. So go check out powerpulpcomics.com. And we have one giveaway that's still live for Matt Chi. So if you go find this episode on the YouTube, go down into the YouTube comments, write Power Pulp to enter, and you enter a chance to win some comics from Matt Chi off of the Power Pulp site.
Hey, Joe, has 808 Brand gotten a hold of you at all on any of the socials?
Not that I've seen, not yet.
Okay, cool. So we might be respinning for Tony Farrow in the near future too, probably when we do the Matt Chi spin.
Yeah, I haven't gone on today, so I haven't checked, but we'll see this weekend there if he.
And before we get deep into it, man, I just got to shout out our boy Batmerk.
Yep.
Bro skated in right under the wire, man. Like photo finish.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really cool for Matt. Really happy for him. I can't wait to get my record-sized book. I mean, this thing's going to be insane looking. I can't wait to. I love the PDF, you know what I mean? But like, it's going to be so groovy to just like look at that thing.
Kiki and Nick still have they have 5 days left on their Kickstarter.
Yep. And they really need help. And it's such a cool book. I mean, like, I know it's not like a like a comic book, but it is a great idea. It's a really cool, spine tingling little surreal adventure they got going on. I can't wait to read more of it. You know what I mean?
So their Kickstarter is running for another 5 days. Do we still have? Yeah, right here. I'll put up. I just changed the QR code up in the left. So if you're interested in going to check that out, just scan the QR code up in the left-hand corner and go check out their campaign. If you're a big Giallo fan, then you'll enjoy this for sure. So anyone that's a big fan of that era of Italian horror, go check it out, because that's definitely steeped and drenched in Giallo vibes. Yeah. So there, back to the poll.
Speaking of which, like the book we're talking about tonight, it actually had a very successful Kickstarter campaign. How did you do again? You did pretty well. You were over 100%, right?
Well, yeah, I only put it up for what I originally did was I put it up on fundmycomic.com first.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I moved the camera. But I had it on Fund My Comic first, and then I was just trying to get enough money to just fund the printing, but I already printed it.
Okay.
So I was just holding it off to get the amount of money I needed to cover it. And then I only needed $100 for the rest of it, and that helped out quite a bit.
It was a very affordable book. I think it was I paid $13 to have it even shipped. You know, that was like the total price, I think.
Yeah. So I wanted to be like, I was trying to get it to the point where like it was cheap enough for anybody to just grab. You know, that wasn't like I didn't want to come off and be like $20, but then the shipping was just as much as the book was. So, you know, it was kind of like, well, that kind of defeats the purpose.
Right.
But I was hoping to put them like, you know, like distribute them into shops and stuff as a cheaper method to get out and, just get out there in the world, more hands-on stuff like that.
So you have like several extra copies, right? Are you selling them on a site or anything? I didn't really see like a big cartel on your page. Do you have one?
Yeah. So I took it down for a minute because I was just focusing on issue 2. But I put it back up until I take off again because I've been take vacation with my daughter. So I put it up for a little while again, and then when I come back, I'm just take it down until I'm ready for next year. When I do issue 2, so it's kind of like a follow up. But yeah, I have like a couple hundred issues still laying around.
Yeah, I think my buddy Josh Mikas shared your campaign, and that's how I saw it. And then when I checked it, like literally the price that it was going for, like I when I run across Kickstarters like that, I feel like I'm losing money not getting them. You know what I mean? Like they're very rare. So like this looks so cool. You know what I mean? Like it has that grimy look to it. You know what I mean? That grindhouse.
Yeah, I mean. Right, totally. Yeah, I think that the biggest part of the price point for me was like I hate buying books that are like $20 a pop and it's only 24 pages or something like that. But I understand why they are like that at the same time. But I also wanted to make it. I was trying to get to the point where like you had like a, how do you say this, like almost like an old school like Tim Vigil Faust, you know, that was out there and like get there to be X amount of issues and that's all that was out there. And then you would try to get it. And then it goes into second printing if there was a second printing or whatever. And then I could be able to change the covers and stuff like that down the road. So that's kind of my hopes. I don't know if that made any sense at all.
And I really like the production of the comic, man. It's got a nice, thick but not too thick cover, and then the paper is perfect. Like it's close to newsprint you get, or it's newsprint, right? Like it's nice and it's nice and gray.
I had to hunt down the printer, and like that was the biggest thing for me. It was like I was trying to find a printer that could actually do it on newsprint that was affordable and that wasn't like that wouldn't just like say that this is newsprint but it's not newsprint. You know, there's like a newsprint that you get. This is the actual newsprint, and I wanted to go as close to the 70s as possible to fit the time period it's in. So that's what I was trying to get to.
What printer did you end up using?
It's a printer out of China.
Okay.
I found them on. I talked to several printers, and that was the biggest thing. It's like it was a big problem for me. that I ran into because of the content of the book. And a lot of the printers are just like, no, this is illegal. And then so I just kept
Okay, so
digging
let's
around.
get into that. Let's tell people a little bit, like the elevator pitch of what this book is about and everything, so that people have an idea before we get too deep into it. And like, let's give them some context about what this book is, the story, what it's about.
Kind of hard to explain. It's a horror comic, and it's really a sad story about this guy who, I don't want to get too far in the story. It's really about this guy that's got mental problems, and then he develops these personas that are quite different from what you see in everyday life. The main focus of the book is actually going to be the FBI agent that's tracking him down. So it's kind of like a Silence of the Lambs style story, where the lady is looking for something.
A serial killer.
Yeah.
Well, she's actually
so this is like
girl. Yeah, she's looking for the one girl from the kind of what happens in the book is what she's actually there first.
So the big concept for the story itself was like the book is kind of racy just because it's kind of like demoralizing women in a way, right? Tommy is that demoralizing figure of the story, and the female FBI agent is the one that's going to bring it all back into focus. And so she's like being passed around, because what I found out, doing some research and stuff, is like there's only 35 female agents in the FBI and 76, something like this. And so there wasn't really that serial killer term too. So she doesn't really know what she's up against.
Yeah.
And then the other part of the story is like the FBI thought this is just like one of those bullshit cases where there's this event happening in the town, just like a hippie nudist fest. And she thinks, the FBI thinks that these girls went out there just to hang out and party out there. And that's what this Load magazine is about.
Almost like a Burning Man, but a little more extreme. Yeah.
Right. It's kind of like, the last celebration of freedom and stuff. And it's like the end of the hippie era. So it's kind of where it leads into. And then
and I gotta say, this book pulls no punches. Like, you don't shy away from, it's not only graphic in like the subject matter, but also visually. Like, you definitely don't pull any punches. So, I mean, some people may find it off-putting if they're overly sensitive to the graphic nature of the sexual content, the violence.
Right.
It's very brutal. It's very brutal, and like, you don't hold back, because I mean, what happens to these girls is, I mean, it would turn anyone's stomach, right? So, I mean, I think you really, by not pulling any punches, by not pulling the blinds, like by showing everyone the graphicness of it, it kind of puts it into context, like how gruesome and how much of a monster this person's, almost like a split personality, his alter ego, from the trauma he's had as a child, right? It develops this switch, and you see how easily he switches in the story. Like, he's super kind, soft-spoken, almost shy, until he hears no. That rejection, right? That rejection triggers it, and then he becomes
his dad, basically.
His dad. I didn't want to give it away, but a person in his, and then the word bubbles change color. I don't remember if the font that used the lettering is slightly different too. Yeah, so you see it triggers a whole nother thing. And this book has so many winks or a love letter to many horror movies. Like you mentioned Silence of the Lambs. You can do Psycho as well.
It's based off like Ed Gein. Yeah. And then
there's that. What else? Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's also based off of Texas Killing Fields, the highway stretch.
Yeah.
So that's why in the book he's also talking about the stretch of highway. That's a very important factor of the book.
I think you mentioned Devil's Rejects too, Johnny. You said it had those kind of vibes a little bit.
That's what I wanted to kind of bring it back to tell people. Like, we're talking about it. It is like super like transgressive and violent, but at the same time, like them saying like this is illegal to print. That's silly, because like, and the truth, it's not very much more stronger than, like, say you'd see in The Devil Rejects or Last House on the Left, and those are pretty extreme for like regular theatrical films. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they're considered masterpieces by like a lot of people in the film world, not even just horror fans, but like there are snobs that like consider those top tier, and like that's kind of how I felt this book is like leaning towards, at least in this first issue. Kind of the hotel room scene kind of really reminds me of the scene from Devil's Rejects in a certain way. It's not copying it in any way, but the grotesqueness on display there is kind of in the same league, I would say.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool to hear. Like, I took a lot of the inspiration from like those movies that I find on Tubi all the time that I don't get to see on because I don't pay for any type of service.
Mm-hmm.
And like you had movies like The Toolbox Murders or like I Spit on Your Grave and things like that, and it really made me wonder like why don't we have films like this anymore? Is it just it's too much, it seems like, in a way. But it also like pulls in the factor of like how violence really is in the real world, and it's something I really wanted to pull back into the book as well. And that was the reason why you have a lot of that dialogue that's really shitty, and then like how he reacts to certain situations with the females and stuff like that.
And I wonder if in today's age, if there's less of these things because the access to it is so much easier, like through streaming. Whereas back in the day, like if you had these movies, you'd have to search them out. Like you'd go to the video store.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like it wouldn't be just a click of a button and you have it, right? So I think parents might be more sensitive to it. Like their kids maybe more easily have access to it. So if it's so easy to have access, let's just get rid of it. Whereas
that's a good one. Like it does kind of like scream. Yeah, the French New Wave gore stuff that was coming out in the early 2000s. Yeah, this is on that.
Oh yeah.
Like Martyrs and shit. Yeah, Frontiers is another good one. Like really transgressive, hard to watch film.
I was trying to think of all that. Like there was like all that gore stuff. I was trying not to get too much into the gore stuff, and more really into the more emotional state of what Tommy is becoming and what you start to see Tommy getting towards, right? And like Joe, when you were talking about the fonts changing and stuff like that, that's on purpose to tell you who is actually speaking in the dialogue, so that you can kind of put
who's
that
in
together.
Charge, which personality is in charge, let's say, or it hasn't been revealed yet, but it's definitely quite evident that there's a switch there, right? It's not Tommy from the restaurant; it's Tommy. yeah, exactly. So behind the counter, he's such a sweet, soft-spoken man.
Yeah, but it's like Ted Bundy, right? Ted Bundy was like the sweetest guy in the world, apparently, and then like there's a switch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and is he like by his mom though? Just wondering, is that like why he has the apron and stuff like that? Is like, does he also kind of like have a part of his mom inside of him as well?
Yes. So you'll see that in the dialogue as well, and what he's actually creating is something that's along those lines.
Yeah, because there's some parts where the dialogue is softer, where it's like,
it's like very nice and straight.
Yeah,
and then the harder parts are the aggressive person, and then you'll see some that are like kind of scribbly. That's the child,
and you can see it's like the tone is also of the person speaking. Their tone is different, So you get it. It's there, and I mean this book is also like we didn't mention it, but it's black and white. So you don't have like where you could just switch the color of the font if you wanted to, if you're doing a color book. So like you have to really play with like the font itself. And people have to be aware of it and notice it, So
so like I think that was like another major factor for the book is it had to be black and white, and I had to actually do all the zip because I was pulling books like the old like Leather Nun. I don't know if you guys know what that is, or even like Screw magazine. They had those little comics in them, and they were always black and white and really shitty looking. And the zip-a-tones were like kind of falling off the page here and there on some of the issues, and that was like the factors I wanted to add into this book as well. Right.
Well, I saw a few of your process videos on Instagram when you're working on the book, when you're working with the zip-a-tones and stuff like that and inking. So that's when I think. It was right before you launched your Kickstarter there. I remember seeing those.
Yeah. I mean, and it's expensive as hell, man. And I was like, why did I do this? But like, I wanted it to be the way that they would have made something in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
And the only part I flaked off on was the fonts. I just made my own font, and then went from that direction because I can't spell to save my life, so I need spell check constantly checking.
Constantly.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, bro.
Yeah, I'm bad. So
you created your own font. What did you use for that?
I use this app called Font Self on the iPad.
Okay.
And you just go onto it, and you can just write directly into the iPad.
Okay.
And let me pull it up for you. I'll show you the fonts.
What was the app called again?
It's called Font Self.
Font Self. Okay.
Yeah. So like you create, it gives you the template, and you just create your font. You just write it all out, and then you get a font
with the pen. Okay.
Yeah, with the pen. So then you have like the different weights and stuff, so you can go all the way down and you see all the different items that are contained. So I created it that way, and then the main fonts that were just throughout the book. The only font that changes is Tommy. And those are several different versions of the vocals. Mm-hmm. But the rest of the fonts are just Comic Craft.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah.
No,
but now
it's nice to know that there's those apps out there like that for people like.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because you can have more. Because I find when people do their lettering themselves, it lends itself to their style, so it feels more organic. It fits the comic more if it's like person created their own font, right? It fits the tone, it fits the style. Sometimes you'll see fonts and it feels a little out of place compared to the style of the comic, maybe, or something. So it's cool that there's apps out there where people could create their own fonts like that, and it really.
Yeah, it's only like $10 too. So I mean, you can just make as much as you want. And the cool thing is, you can have your friends come over and do a little party, and then everybody can sit around and make their own fonts.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then you can like pull them into your book later on, and then have it like just for fun stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's cool. Really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is that only available for the iPad for Apple, or is it?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked anywhere else for it.
But anyway,
I just knew it was on there.
Yeah. So Font Self.
Font Self. Yeah. Little red app.
Cool.
But I thought that was the easiest one because you could just draw. I mean, it gives you the template and you just draw over it.
Yeah.
And then like for the kid font that I was creating, just use my left hand to try. I can't do anything,
Yeah.
That's why you see on the cover too. There's like that scribbly font, like a little cartoon kid. Like, there you go.
Yeah.
That's why it looks like somebody wrote on the cover. It's like the kid is writing on it.
Yeah. So all the red stuff you did with your
left hand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. I love your covers. I like your painterly style. Is that all traditional, or did you use digital for that?
That was all. The cover was all traditional.
Okay,
but
cool.
I had screwed up, and I was going to have this. There's a sheriff that comes in the picture later on. And he was actually in that part where it's all white on the cover.
Okay.
And so I totally screwed up, and I was trying to figure out how I was going to like make this like paint or on top of the Zipatone, and the page is starting to warp. It wouldn't hold right. So then I had to Photoshop the postcard on top of the cover to make it fit. Yeah. So that's the only parts that are like Photoshopped in.
Because here's the back of the cover right here.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like
Killer wraparound.
Yeah, I started warping it out really bad, so I had to stop.
And that brings me to like one of my favorite red herrings in the book, the character Harold, who at first you kind of think is going to be the bad guy.
That's the other guy that works at the counter at the restaurant.
Yeah, the old man. Yeah,
he's the old dude. Yeah, that works in the restaurant.
He's stuck in the 40s or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I was trying to think of like in the time period, right? When I first started making Tommies, it was the whole first 6 pages were only for myself to figure out if I could even do comics anymore, if I even wanted to.
Okay.
And so I gave myself a challenge, and I was like, well, let me just throw a couple things I like together, like, Ed Gein and serial killers and, X. And I was going to do 6 pages. And I did it, and then I was like, "Oh shit, this is actually really fun." So then I started developing the characters around those 6 pages, and then it really expanded from there. But then I had to be like, if this was like in the 70s, because you couldn't do this in modern day, because you'd get caught instantly on camera from CCTV somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, I have to take it back to the 70s, which I didn't really want to do at the time because I was like, this is getting too close to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre then, right? So then I had to take it out of Texas.
Yeah.
Be like, this is New Mexico. And then, what am I trying to get to? But I just really kept expanding on the book from that time period. And I kept trying to learn more. And I started buying all these, like, you know, like I was saying earlier before we got on this call, that I was buying like old 70s issues of Hustler magazine. And I started finding this really funny because they had these stories in there, like, there's like a Supreme Court case against Larry Flint at the time.
Yeah.
And he would write these like editorial pieces in every issue. And then he had these really weird off the wall stories, like sending his editor off to examine every massage parlor in the United States. And they write back about it. You know, and I was like, that's the kind of shit like I want to put into Tommy somehow, you know? And then so that's where the Load magazine that's inside of the issue is the like kind of counterculture newspaper that would be like a Screw magazine from that time period. And that's why you have those like silly stories in the bottom, like the nude pageant or satanic sex cults, and just carrying that type of like motif. And yeah, that's why the ads are in there too. So it'd be like, you know, as a kid when you would see those like 1990s magazines, you know, those adult magazines, I wanted to replicate those type of ads inside the newspaper and then have it tell a story later on. So it plays a major part of the issues coming up, which is going to be really cool, I think. Hopefully.
And you told me it's going to be a 4-issue arc for this?
Yeah, I'm hoping for 4 issues. I'm expanding the page count to go up to 48 pages per issue.
Okay.
Because I felt like the first issue didn't really give as much context behind everything, and it kind of felt rushed to me.
Okay.
So I want to start to slow the pace down and really focus more on like what Tommy is and who is really doing what. And I think I might extend it past 4 if I can, which will go into the Load magazine sector of it, and it'll be like its own actual, you know, newspaper in a type of way, so that you could have the supplemental, you know, that you would see that they're talking about in the book. That's just a thought process I have right now.
So you're working on issue 2 as we speak.
Yeah.
When do you have a timeline for that? Like when you'd want? Well, we could get into that after because it probably won't be on Kickstarter after the rule changes and everything. So we could get into that later. So
yeah, I'm expecting it to be done next year. Like, you know, like I only can put in like a couple hours a night into a page, so it gets pretty rough, you know. And then some nights you just can't do it. So the same thing I did with this with Tommy. So it was about, I would say 8 months total to get it done.
So
I'm kind of getting that
said
time.
something just a little while ago that I want to come back to. Is you said you wanted to try this to see if you could still do comics or you're still capable. So why don't you elaborate on that? So have you made, like, what comics did you make before? Then you you were away from comics for a bit. Now you came back to try to make more. Like what did you mean exactly by if you still?
Not at all. I helped my friend from high school. He had got a book deal with Viper Comics, if you guys remember them at all.
Yeah.
And the book was called Built.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I remember Dead at 17 on Viper.
Yeah. So he had a book called Villains, and it was actually really cool. It's kind of like The Boys before The Boys came out. It was revolving around this college kid or whatever, and he like got fired from his job, and you know his wife wanted to kick him to the curb, and then he found out his neighbor was a supervillain, and then so he blackmailed his neighbor into helping him become the next supervillain. So it's a pretty cool story. And I did the backup pages for I did like 20 pages in that. And then right when I got done doing those 20 pages or so, I got hired into IDOS Interactive doing video game concept art. So I kind of just left for a while.
Got you.
So I wanted to come back to and see if I could do comics
So you
like
were still
on my own
working.
and do it all.
You were still working in a creative field artistically and stuff. So
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But I completely left drawing and stuff like that, and I don't know, 2013 after I left doing any type of video game work.
Did they have you move to Indonesia when you were working for them? Because I had a friend that was a comic book writer that like got a job with Eidos, and like they actually had him move to Indonesia.
No, I was just working from home. So I was like the last guy in the call. Like I was more on the marketing side of the house. So like whenever they came out with a production for like they needed to do a front of the box for like something like Conan or something like that. They would call me up and say, hey, can you do like 100 sketches by the weekend, you know, whatever it's, you know, due. And then you would send them off, and then like another big company like Blair would pick it up and then create the concepts for the art, stuff like that.
Cool.
So yeah, it's more the marketing side of it, but it was a lot of work and just kind of drained me, and I didn't want to do anything with it again.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, kind of, you know, the burnout
I just caught that little like still like I was like, oh, okay, so let's see what I caught that, so I want you to elaborate on it. So let's go. Yeah.
I wish I would have done more comics, and then it's been a love of mine since I was a child. So I was like, I got to do something with it, you know.
Back into it.
I'm already like almost 50 years old, and I don't have anything behind me. So
yeah,
I was like, well.
There's a certain audience out there that'll be looking for Tommies, and once they find it, man, I'm pretty sure you'll pop off, dude. Like they're like,
that'd be cool, man. Like you know, I just really hope that it's telling a story that, because I don't see myself as a fan, like a writer at all. Like I'm more of just like I script it inside of my little books like this, and then I fill in the word bubbles later, like the Marvel method, basically.
Okay, yeah.
And that's how I figure it out. So I don't really consider myself a writer, but I think it's an okay story.
Man, like it definitely like pretty much skates the line of the comfortability zone with certain topics. But I mean, like I have been known to enjoy stuff that does like cross that line. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, I'm a big fan of like Takashi Miike and Sano, and like their movies go really hard in certain directions, certain times. Like not all their films, but and then also like like Grindhouse and trash films, like they were very heavy on just violence and transgression, and like I want to get this point across, like the violence towards women as a bad thing. Like Miike kind of has wife beating a lot in his comics because his dad beat his mom, and so he hates that. So he always tries to show just how scummy that is. But like a lot of people think that he's advocating for it because he puts it so prevalent in a lot of his films. Same thing with Alan Moore. People like, oh, Alan Moore probably wants to rape women because he writes about rape so much. It's like, no, he just thinks it's disgusting, man. Just because people have a certain thing that they wig out about and put in their work doesn't mean that they're advocating for that. If you read the book, they're actually making them the grossest people possible, and that's literally what you're doing with Tommies too. So like the whole idea that people, I mean, I understand like this book goes hard and like it will discomfort people. It's not for gentle readers, but like for them to just outright like when I first read the book, because you asked me to like, hey man, let me know what you think, I liked your show, so read it, hit me back, and then I kind of came back to you with some I noticed some stuff and I kind of talked to you about it, but it wasn't because I was worried about it. I just was kind of like, man, like it might be kind of hard to like sell this sometimes, I just
man. I really thought about that as well, and I was really worried about trying to put it out, and then like what would happen, what the reaction would be. But going down the line of watching these type of films, like we were just talking about, and thinking of books like the Faust or or the early 70s books, it's like, how do these people get away with all this stuff when we can't do anything like that anymore? Like it
or a lot
sense.
of manga still. Like I read Berserk. Berserk, like nobody, like everybody gets raped in that book. No, not kidding. Like your main characters, all of them had some kind of sexual abuse done to them, and like that's just showing you like why they ended up like so tortured and like like almost
Yeah.
all of them, like even your hero Guts, he's not a fucking good guy. Like I'm getting off topic with stuff, but like it's the same thing. You know what I mean?
It's not just that; it's the message too of a monster can create a monster, right?
Yeah.
And making people like your actions don't just end with you. Like it's a trickle down effect where psychologically, like they say, most abusers will be are victims of abuse themselves as children,
Right.
and they become abusers because they haven't dealt with the trauma and they don't know how to act or feel, and it becomes like this jumbled mess, right? And this book kind of tackles that as well. And I mean,
yeah, you hit it on the nail right there. Actually, how you just said it becomes a jumbled mess, right? Because that's what it basically is. You know? And you see what happens. You've already read the book, so you saw what happened to White Tommy. You know, it's like, and it gets worse from here, and start to see more of what happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, it goes pretty hard as it is. So
yeah, your visuals are you kind of spare some of the stuff, but like some of the stuff that's written in there, like man, it'll kind of make you cringe a little bit. You're like, hey, that's nasty. When you're talking about how the certain materials are lining the table and what the room smells like. But like it's coming from the serial killer's mind, like when he's in that warped state. So like he is using these terms, you know what I mean? And it's not it's a weird jumbled thing, but I have a little bit of hope, man. There are some transgressive films lately that have kind of broken through. You have like the Terrifier, you have Ty West's X movies and Pearl.
Dude,
and
the
like
Terrifier is one of those movies I just cannot stand. Like it just
I can't get into it either. Yeah, no, there's something missing that keeps me from liking them, but I do appreciate them for what they're doing, for like being so transgressive. But yeah, they're just not it, in my opinion, too. Like I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it's just I think in the end too, like to your point when we were talking back and forth on Instagram, I want people to feel sorry for Tommy as well. It's not just a story about Tommy being this killer, like this crazy killer. You'll see more of what I'm talking about down the road. But Tommy is also a victim of everything, right? Well, and that's another part of it was on telling the story.
You showed that really good in the first issue because another thing I like is it kind of takes place in 3 different timelines and you jump back and forth between them, but it never gets confusing. It's all very well done. But like I'd say a good third of the book is a scene from about Tommy and his father and his mother that I'm not going to spoil for people because it's really brutal. It's really heartbreaking, but like it really does make you feel bad for Tommy and make you understand like how he broke and like exactly where he broke, because I think that flashback was the trigger moment for like what would become, you know, Tommy in the future, right? Or one of the,
what becomes
well, it kind of echoes back to maybe that Psycho where the mother putting him down, you know, like trying to live up to his mother's expectations, whereas the father, it's not the same so much, but the father has a huge influence on what he's become. Like the father's transgressions, because that's like a lot of the brutality comes from that scene with the father and the mother, right? That's where it really, that's most likely probably the part of the book where people will have the hardest time with is probably those scenes right there, because they are extremely brutal and they are like it touches on something very real. So I think that'll be very triggering for people because it's not, it's a very real reality for a lot of people where, you know, like domestic abuse, this and that. So I think that might be the part that's like the other stuff, like the Science of the Lambs making a bodysuit and stuff like that. That's more slasher kind of horror where people can disassociate themselves from it. So it doesn't feel, but the other, like that domestic abuse, the father, the wife, the kid, that is maybe a little too real for some people because maybe they've experienced it. And that's the part of the book that may be more triggering for people. And the rest is pretty much a slasher story where, you know, like, so.
This is one of the lighter pages from that scene. This is like him breaking a table.
Right.
Like, that's the lighter page of the
well, I don't think it's just the how graphic it is either. I think it's tonally, like the subject matter itself.
Yeah.
Like Hank is a pretty. We don't know his backstory, but what we do know of him is he's become a pretty despicable person, right? So
yeah, he's trash really, because he's is the womanizer of the book, right? And that's where the whole idea of the women come from. And then the not Hank, Harold, the other guy who is the old,
at the Tommy's restaurant. Yeah.
The old guy that just hangs out, like, you ever gone to like a really small like diner somewhere in like the desert, and like you just have that old guy just sitting back and reading some bullshit newspaper, and that's just always there. It just doesn't leave.
Waffle House, like that. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like the people you run into at Waffle House a bit.
Right. But yeah, I mean, in the story, like he's supposed to be like that, like he's just too old and he doesn't really comprehend, what's happening. That's why he makes those type of that's why he's talking the way he does. Yeah. Right.
Well, sometimes it's not for nothing they have the proverb of can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? Like,
I hate to say it, like there's a few of Harold's lines that made me laugh when he said like, if I was at your age, I'd have tied him up and spanked the shit out of him. Like,
when they're leaving the restaurant there and they're watching them. Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be like, that reminds me of my uncle, right? That's what my uncle would have said to me.
Yeah, something a creepy family member would have said. Yeah, exactly. Or like, not even creepy.
Not really creepy.
Badly, yeah. Just trying to act
color, like always with the off color comment, like half serious, half joking, like
Right. Yeah, I do. I mean, I miss that type of like comments from my uncles and stuff like that, but we don't hear that kind of stuff anymore, And I wanted to bring that back into the picture of like, this is what Tommy's hearing too, and it's kind of recycling through his head, and these are the things that he's starting to repeat back, as a young man. So I'm like getting more and more excited because it's getting more in depth in the second issue, and it gets a little bit more brutal, I think, in a way. And not to just be like violent. It's meant to like show that this is the progression of this person, down the line.
And you gotta throw stuff in to be funny. Or at least I found like the very last panel of the book to be kind of funny. Of Tommy like at the window, like that left me kind of giggling at him, man. Like, so was that meant to be funny or like? Or am I just...
No, I mean, it was meant to be like, if you were in this mental state, and you have this like, I guess adolescence to you, right? That's kind of in your brain, and you see these things moving around you. You would probably be that same type of person, like taking advantage of moments, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get to those. That's why he's talking the way he does in that last panel as well.
Yeah, and then he's got his mom in his head telling him he's being gross. Don't do that, Tommy.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, I was wondering if anybody would catch that, and I was kind of like, I was really happy that people started seeing that.
So speaking of the second issue, this brings up something that Johnny sent me a message last night. He's like, go read the new terms for Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah.
So for this you printed it yourself, but you actually did a Kickstarter as well to help with the printing costs. The book was already done and printed, like you said beforehand. But now, are you thinking of just funding this yourself, like printing it, or are you going to look for alternative crowdfunding now that Kickstarter has changed their policies quite dramatically on not safe for work content on their site for comics?
It's very vague as well, and they contradict themselves in several points. Like I'm definitely going to go off of Mike Wolfer's email to them, but like he made some great points about like the way they kind of said that, like, oh, you can do it if it's supposed to be like for art or for, like,
right? Yeah.
But like at the same time, like you can't censor it. And you can't have a naked image up. So, like, how are they supposed to actually still sell the thing that meets their conditions of, like, the artistic news?
Well, you can't have nipples. One.
Lingerie's off. That's PG.
I don't know. I don't know if that means men can't have nipples either if they're bare-chested. Like, it doesn't specify. And after that, right away, you can't have buttocks. So everyone has to be frontal with clothes on. Like, you can't show butts. Like, I mean... Like, since when is a butt super graphic, or like?
Aren't they just saying like you just can't show it on the covers or any interior pages, and you can't cover that up, but you can do what you want as long as nobody sees it?
The interior, I don't know. That's it. It's vague. I don't know if the content itself, like overall, can't be like the story.
Mike Wolford pointed out clearly that they didn't say whether or not like the printed stuff has to also follow these rules, because the thing is, this is not actually Kickstarter doing it. It is the company Stripe. They are the company that kind of
it's the credit cards.
Yeah, through the credit cards, and like they've been doing this for a while. They did this to video games not too long ago. They hit Twitch.io and what's the other big one? But yeah, like basically, and they pulled all the not safe for work video games off, and they're basically telling people what they can spend their money on. Like this is
why is this company doing this?
Because we're in a puritanical shift now, and they are a very Christian conservative company that thinks
so. It is a Christian conservative company.
Yeah,
okay,
definitely, dude. Like, why would they? They don't have anything against violence or the horror. They go straight to the text.
Why couldn't Kickstarter just say like, okay, we'll do the funding thing a different way?
Well, the thing is there's only 3 companies,
systems, right? Right.
Yeah. Pretty much, there's only 3 different ones, and like
so switch companies, like go with someone else. Be like, sorry, but that's too much censorship for freedom of expression.
Especially like the comic side of Kickstarter, it's literally one of the only things that makes money on the site. Novels and the comics are the only thing that actually has a community that has faith in the product. If you go and look at like signups for short films or indie video games, they barely ever fund, and if they do, it's because it's a studio that's proven themselves in like past. Like Kickstarter, there's no faith in a lot of stuff. You go on YouTube and look up Kickstarter, it's a bunch of people shitting on the platform, pointing out all the scams that's ever happened on it. So like comics,
there's a lot of that too, right? Yeah.
Well, I've only ever had 4 comics that never came out of
250, 300.
Yeah, I'm almost to 300. That's my.
Oh shit, that's wild. That's a huge amount.
Yeah, but I mean, if I was Kickstarter, I'd just okay, sorry, it was a great partnership while it lasted, but we're at a crossroads where our idea of what we want are different, and just go with a different company for
I don't think they're very many though, and they all have the same rules that they're all abiding to. I think the only other one that's out there is that one that does the corn websites, and that's like technically for very expensive like processing fees.
Okay.
So I don't know. I could just keep speaking out of my ass, but that's all. It just seems like that is the way that everything's happening, because all the processing fees, and then how does the company make more money?
The freedom of speech party is telling us what we can spend our money on. That's wonderful.
Right.
Okay, but like we were touching on before. Okay, let's say people say their book is this, and then when it goes to print and they actually send it out, it's like they didn't put any of the gratuitous stuff, gratuitous or whatever you want to call it, more racy stuff. But then when they print it, they leave that part out, but the printed final product has it, and they send it out. Like, if they find out, what, are you going to be banned from the site? Or, like if people try to do it that way, like, I mean, people will be like, fuck it. You don't need to know more than the basic outline, right? You don't need to know every little detail of the story,
Well, the thing is,
Joe, you got to be careful too, right? Because you could get sued by, like, if a kid bought it, and like if a kid bought my comic, I'd get in big trouble, right? That's
but you say it's for it's very clear that it's like 13 and up, 16 and up, 17
all
and
ages,
up,
adults only, straight up on
adults only. Yeah, exactly.
But does an adults only label like get you also taken off the site? That was another thing I was wondering when I saw that message.
They didn't mention anything about adults only like books.
They kept trying to say that, like, oh, we're still going to welcome spicy and erotic material, while completely saying that, like, you're not allowed to have spicy or erotic material on any of your books. Even lingerie's out. That's PG-13. And like Joe said, butt cheeks, that's PG-13. Like, until you go to boobs is R, you know what I mean? And like that's cool. And like your cover has nips on it, you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure you could taste it up or like have like a Kickstarter exclusive cover that you could put like rainbows and puppies on and shit, like just to be funny. That'd be great. Like
Oh yeah,
Skittles,
totally.
shit.
But that's not what I want to do. I want to get to the point where I can actually do like a cover like Tim Vigil would do, you know, where it's just like there's a little gatefold that you pop open and you're like, holy crap, you know.
Big old demon cock on it.
Because I mean, if you go by the rules that I read, like 80% of comics will disappear from Kickstarter. 80% of the books that are out there now.
All their main sellers too. Like our buddy Richard, like I love him, and like his book is not pornographic in any way. Like you never actually see glam nude, but like he makes a lot of his money off the nude covers variants that he has, and like Kickstarter gets a lot of that money from you guys. You know what I mean? So like his Kickstarters make like 30 grand. So like they're getting a good
guys like Brian Paluto, right?
Yeah, Polito. Yeah, his Chaos Evil Ernie thing is just 1,000 timed itself funding. You know what I mean? They got 1,000 backers right now. And like Kickstarter saying goodbye to that. They're saying goodbye to Mike Wolfer, who always makes a couple 100,000, I think, on his nudie Kickstarter covers and stuff. Like yeah, they're just going to leave so much money on the floor. And like, I don't know, I guess now, you know, companies like Indie Crowdfunder is one that a couple of my friends said that they might go to. There's what's that other one? Fwoosh, or the goofy one that like we bought? Zoop. And then what's the one we bought Kankor off of? That one was just called
Crowdfunder.
Yeah, I think that was just called Crowdfunder.
There's a lot of them out there, right?
But like a lot of them are actually going to have a swinging chance now. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of the good books from Kickstarter are probably going to migrate to these things. But I think that they might run into the same problem too, because like we said, there's only so many vendors that cover the payments. You know what I mean? Stripe is
I think the big deal too is like why I also went to Fund My Comic was because you kept all the money and you didn't have to get to a certain point, so you could keep all the money and they didn't censor you as well. That's what I really thought was really nice about them. And I was really worried if I went to Kickstarter if they would kick me off the platform at the time, but I gave it a shot. And I really wanted to get to Kickstarter because I knew there'd get more eyeballs on because people are already there. Versus, you know,
you got it in under the wire.
Yeah, totally.
That's what your book was. What, about 3 months ago? 2 months ago?
Yeah, it was like 3 months ago. Yeah,
2, 3. Yeah.
So
like Richard's was coming in beginning of June. So we'll see if he has to. Like, will he just? Because he has this artist that does these.
Bang
and
Bez.
they're not very like they're cheesecakey, right? He has Bang. What's his name?
Bang Bez and
Bang Bez has been doing these variants for him since almost issue 1, and it's like something he's done since the beginning. He's up to what? He's going to do issue 14 or 15.
Well,
and now he won't be able to put these covers out there. So will he advertise a cover without showing them? Or
the thing though, Joe, like I don't know if Richard's going to be able to sell any Bam and Glam covers because her outfits pretty much are lingerie. That's completely out of their terms now. You can't even have like lingerie, and like a lot of Glam's outfits could be construed as that. Like most of the time, she just kind of has tape over her nips and like a little black skirt or something on.
Or her outfits are very BDSM. They're like,
definitely. How can you just run it on your own website and just run it that way? So you could push people over to your site so you get more eyeballs on your actual website.
He probably really
money that way
because he has such a fan base now, dude. Like that might be the way Richard should go, is actually just print it himself and get it out to people.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know.
I mean, because you can still run something on Kickstarter like it's just like a all neutral, and then do whatever you want on your own website. Because I don't think that would really restrict anything.
And I mean, I think he shows us the boxes of like the comics that he still has from the prints, man. Like he could sell so much more if he actually did have a web store, I think, because he has so many just boxes of the prints of his comics.
I
totally.
It's crazy,
man.
It really disappoints me. Like I said, my my New Year's resolution was to get to 300 by the end of the year, and I'm really close. I'm at 280, and like I don't know if I'm going to be still using Kickstarter, after these ones that I'm backing, because I'm getting them Evil Ernie omnibuses with the slider box and shit. Like I'm not leaving Kickstarter until that shit's over with. But yeah,
that's wild. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what happened to, because like I run my web store on Gumroad.
Yeah.
And they actually made me change my vocabulary today about what I could write as the description for Tommy's.
Really?
And it had it in like a
what way?
holding. I couldn't say sex, drugs, and nudity at all, because I was trying to state that like it does contain nudity. It's for adults. So I had to take all that vocabulary out and just be like a blank statement and just said mature audiences on it.
Okay.
So that was kind of weird. That it was like right after Johnny had said something about Kickstarter doing something, and then I went to go check Gumroad, and then it was like in red, it said it's not published.
we live in clown world, man. It's such a.
It's so dumb. You got to figure out ways to get around things. Like somebody's going to always figure out a way to get around something.
And is this a ploy to try to like hold everyone's money and not transfer the funds to people if people buy stuff? Or
it's a big thing that they're doing, man. They want to purify the internet. Like they want kids pretty much off the internet. They got the age verification shit going up everywhere, where they don't want any under 16 to like actually be on social media. They're trying to ban.
You know what? It's fucking parents need to parent.
That's the bottom line. And like now they're actually sitting back and expecting the government to parent for them. I guess I don't know. Everybody I know is against all this shit, but like I don't know. It just seems to be so many people that are apathetic.
That's the fucking buck. Yeah, it's not my fault. It's the internet's fault. Yeah, well, fuck.
I mean, I'm against the government altogether. So,
like we were talking about, like I can't actually like look at porn in my my state of Oklahoma. Like it's blocked because from.
I can't either. In Indiana, you can't do that, and I don't look at it anyway. But
yeah, me neither. But like,
I never look at it. I mean,
no. But like,
I have boxes and boxes under me of Hustler magazines that I can't look at. And I have Jim Ruggs, adults only and stuff. So
yeah.
Jimbo, good man.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see. Like, I mean, someone's probably going to come up with something different where people could go and just do what they want. That's not porn, where people can do like stories that aren't going to be
what they don't
overly censored to death.
What they don't realize though, man, is like making sex like a scary hidden thing. That's how you end up with deviants. That's how you end up with people like Tom. When you make sex like a scary thing, like kids will treat it like that, and then when they actually get into it, like it'll be like they'll go to the extremes with it because they've been taught that it's like this fucking thing to be scared of. And when like they actually do it, and they're like, oh wow, like that wasn't scary at all. They go off the deep end a lot of the times, from what I understand. So like,
it's kind of like I was telling you guys earlier before we got on that, like, growing up in Japan, like watching Japanese TV after 9 o'clock, it was just boobs all night, and on just live TV, which was, great for me as a little kid. But when you come back to the States and then how much we censor everything, and it makes everybody, just like you were just saying, like it makes you seek out those things more. Like, like to me in a way that's like, do you remember when Two Live Crew came out with Me So Horny, right?
Yeah.
Every kid on the block needed to have that record because it was like something you couldn't put your hands on. And I think that's what we're like always creating when you start all this bullshit censorship everywhere. Everybody's gonna get it anyway.
But I mean, like it's a make-believe world that never existed. Like they try to act like the 1950s were literally like Leave It to Beaver and Ozzie and Harriet when it wasn't. People were struggling. People were working hard. People were mad at the government. It's the same fucking world. You had deviants. You had junkies. It was the same fucking world. It's just the TV presented it better, and they actually think like we could go back to that. And it's like go back. That didn't fucking exist. It was a TV show. People like calm down.
Yeah, I mean, I collect those 50 books too. They're called like Folly. Those little Folly magazines or whatever. And they're just like, cheesecake pinup girls wearing stockings. But, there's all kinds of stuff out there that that we're unaware of, that's part of the deviancy of I think that people will seek out when they can't put their hands on it, or they see it once and they're like, well, I want to get my hands on that.
I mean, I don't know if I have the answer, man, but like the future for comics like yours, going on from here, and like, let's say, probably the most comparable comic I can think of that came out recently would probably be Eddie P's Red Room, which is a little bit lighter than this, I'd say, at least on the violence to women side.
That was pretty violent as well.
That was pretty gnarly. That was like the closest thing I could compare. And like I kind of, I mean, like I don't want to see like every horror comic like this, but like it's good to have something that like literally shakes you. You know what I mean? It's a good thing in my opinion. But like honestly, like women's rights, that's still a very new thing. And then when this book takes place, it had only been around less than a decade, pretty much. So and we still live in a world where there's countries where like women still don't have any rights. They're still like liable to just get raped, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. It's in the world that we live in. So like to try to hide this stuff and be scared of it and like try to teach people that it doesn't exist, like that's a bit more of a disservice than maybe actually seeing it shown in a realistic manner. You know what I mean?
But I mean, it's done in the proper context here because.
Yeah, it's like Mello said, like you don't or here, let me get her.
But it's because you bring the kid into it, right? Where you see the violence and then the kid witnesses it, and then you see the outcome of what it does to the son, right? Child, it's not just this isolated incident where you don't show consequence, right?
Right.
And the consequence isn't just about the mother, it's about witnessing violence as a young adult or a young person and what it does to you over time if it's not taken care of, if you haven't spoken to someone about it, or if it's internalized, right, where you haven't really had an outlet to talk to someone to express like how you feel about it and stuff like that, so I don't know. I mean, it's not just violence for the sake of violence. Like there's a purpose to it. And it's a very big part of the story that influences the main character, Tommy, right?
That's a good
point. Probably the most what?
That's a good point too. That's another thing in our society that's like kind of really getting weird again. We got a lot of big voices in America telling men that like they shouldn't have mental health problems, like it doesn't exist. That like they should just ignore it and go to the gym or whatever. You got Joe Rogan saying that, Tate saying that. You got like Testicular or whatever, that kid that hits himself in the face with a hammer, like saying it, and then like there are actually children listening to this, you know what I mean? And it's like, no, dude, like if you're fucked up, go get some. I am medicated, you know what I mean? I'm bipolar.
I mean, don't whine to everyone about it every day on the socials and stuff, but talk to someone, like like we don't need to hear you whining about it every day on socials, but if you need to find someone you can speak to earnestly about it, and that'll, you know what I mean, and the internet's not the best place to go do that. I mean, you're not going to get any real help on the internet, so like in your circle, like with your friends, or I mean professional help as well is out there. Like find a professional. Don't go on the internet. It's just a bunch of hacks that are going to give you like 200 word sentence like characters that they can do, just like slogans, like just throwing slogans at you that aren't really going to do anything,
that are probably all written by AI anyway now.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
It takes them 5 seconds, so there's like, oh, I'm sorry, and just throw you a little sentence in real quick.
Like talk to people that maybe have your best interest in mind, and not just like grandstanding or look at me because I'm a good person too, like talk to someone that either has your best interest in mind of you actually getting better, or helping you deal with an issue you might have, and the internet's not the place for that.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Like Tommy would really benefit from that.
Yeah. If Reddit was around in the 70s, Tommy would be way worse, man.
Yeah, fucking Reddit. I mean, you want to ban something, ban fucking Reddit from the internet. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, talk about a frustrated class of people.
Well, I mean, like, you guys remember all those other like those crazy sites that were around in the 90s too? Like, what was it, like gore. I don't remember those stupid gore ones. And
Ogreish, and what was the other one? Rotten.com.
yeah, there you go, Rotten. Yeah,
Rotten.com, yeah.
And everybody in the world was curious here and there, so they would go look for that superstar like Tupac's photos in the morgue or whatever it was.
Yeah, I was a punk rocker, so like I had the really edgy friends. They'd be like, they come over to my house, like that's the first thing that they hit. And they were like, "Hey, you want to see what a kid without a jaw looks like?" And I'm like,
"Yeah."
Like I'd still look over and be like, I can't do real gore, man. Like I'll watch fake movies that like I like they can make whatever prosthetics they want, and I'll dig it. But like as soon as they show something real, I'm like, oh, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Well, even when it's well done, sometimes I'll turn away. I'm like, oh, that looked too real to me. Like, yeah.
Like the first Hostel was like I still don't like that film just because I think that was the one the eyeball squishing or something, and I was like, that's too much. I was like, I can't handle that.
He had to cut it off with shears because the dude was using an art grinder on her face.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the kind of stuff I'm like. When I'm working on Tommy's, I'm like, what am I going to do next? And like, I don't want to be that guy that just leans into straight gore. But there's got to be something.
Yeah.
But Tommy doesn't really go there with the gore part where it's like, you get the eye pop, but it's not,
on that girl's head or eyeball.
Yeah, the eye pop, but you don't go like over like.
But he wasn't like sticking his fingers in her eye.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He doesn't,
well, not yet, at least. So,
like, he doesn't then like violate the eye socket after or anything. It's nothing gory like that.
not going that far, but it does get pretty wild in the second one. I'm really looking forward to working on it more.
But I mean, that booby apron that's a great.
Should I show it?
That's a great page like reveal. Yeah, the booby apron. Yeah,
that's what I was trying to send. I was going to send you the actual like comic because there's a page turn, right? And that's the page turn for it. So it's like that shock and reveal part.
But even digitally, you still get it because if you one page at a time, so it's like, oh shit, because you see, then like you just do single page, right? So you still get the page turn digitally if you do single page PDF. So you're like, you see, okay, he's putting like Silence of the Lambs, he's making a bodysuit. So, but you always see them working on it from the back, and then like boom, then you're like, oh shit, that's the apron they're wearing.
Yeah, it's the spare parts, right? That he's like collecting.
Yeah.
Because like but it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna say the dialogue.
Because like,
go ahead. My bad.
Sorry, because like I think like Ed Gein, right? He had like the skin lamps and the little bowls and stuff laying around his house when the police raided, right? So I wanted to do something where it was like that, where trying to get away from that Texas Chainsaw, just that Texas Chainsaw look alone. And then just try to add a little bit more to it, and like being like, if I was a craftsman, like you have to practice on something to, create a suit or something. So I was like, well, he's got a leather apron, so just sew it on there.
Yeah, because he's a butcher, right? He's not like a surgeon, so he's gonna have to learn how to stitch, and exactly.
Right. So, I thought that was a kind of cool thing that I didn't see in comics before. So,
oh, definitely, a booby apron isn't a very common thing. That was a great page turn though. So I love that. That was great. I was like, oh shit. It must be heavy. That's the first thing I thought is how heavy is that fucking thing?
Right.
There's a lot of breasts.
But I don't know if you realize
count how many
of his costume.
How many breasts are on that apron? I forgot to count.
I was just drawing circles.
Yeah, I forgot to count to see exactly how many were on there. At least
I was just drawing circles.
Yeah.
But it's like the one thing too, like when you're drawing stuff and then like you just forget to do like if especially if the dialogue's talking about it's rotten and stuff, like how do you like? I had to look up how do you like preserve flesh, and then what would the smell be like, and then I forgot to add like flies in the room and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, there's all those little factors that I I gotta like keep in mind every time you do these little panels. You know, I don't know. It's just fun. It's something new.
Yeah. It's a great shot from between the legs of the bodysuit there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was trying to actually like reinforce that there's something there that you don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why there's, even though there's a little coochie above you, whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
The legs are the indication that there's something.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the perversion of what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where you really get a feel for like, okay, this guy's off his rocker for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, of course, it's. I know you're saying, you want to steer away from the Texas Chainsaw, but I think that's such an iconic cult movie that anytime there's something about slasher this or killing people,
somebody with a face mask,
cannibalizing or whatever, it's you just can't avoid it, right?
Yeah,
it's gonna come back to
totally.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the cannibalism. Yeah, Tommy basically feeds people the dead.
Well, that's what Hank resorts to, right? He's like, oh,
right,
I'm gonna get in trouble. We got to do something.
They're getting rid of stuff.
Yeah,
right. So that gets dealt with more in the next issue about like how they learn how to actually get rid of stuff the correct way, because it actually came from I don't know if you guys read the behind the scenes book I put together too. That comes from a guy named Joe Metheny.
Okay.
Who's also kind of based off of, and he would have a little hamburger stand, I think in Philly, and then he would sell like hamburgers on the side of the road of prostitutes that he had minced up and decided to feed the town. So it's kind of like one of those stories as well, because like if you have like in my mind, if you have this stretch of road like the Texas Killing Fields in Texas of course, and then you have this little like meat market where they can dispose of whatever they need to. Yeah. It's just an endless cycle of nobody knows anything. Just keeps going on and on.
And it's funny. I've just been rewatching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and that episode where Frank tells them they're eating human flesh when they keep stealing his steaks from the fridge, and he puts a padlock and he leaves one out for them, and they're like, "This is the best meat ever." Then he shows up. He's like, "I knew you were gonna try to break the lock. So how'd you like the meat?" And then he's like, "It's human meat." Then they're like, "No." So they start like pork, ostrich, like all these different meats to try to figure out what meat, and they can't find out what. Then they like go to the morgue because then they're like they want to actually taste human flesh to see if it is humans they ate. Like. So I was reading this and I kind of chuckled because it made me think of It's Always Sunny because I just watched that episode recently because I'm rewatching it from the beginning, so it made me laugh when I saw that. And then you just mentioned the Philadelphia things. I don't know if that guy selling hamburgers. Yeah, I don't know if that influenced that story that they did, and It's Always Sunny.
It could be, because I mean, it was a pretty big story. Like he's like a crazy drunk meth head, and his last name was Metheny, which is kind of even weirder. But he's this big burly dude, and like if I saw that guy selling meat on the side of the road, I probably wouldn't buy meat from him at all.
No.
And that was like I wouldn't make Tommy like more of like the the nice guy, slick back hair.
Yeah, where everyone's like, yeah, he's a good guy. They supply meat to the whole county, like.
Oh yeah, all up the highway.
I didn't put this just now when we were talking, but when the FBI agent tells them he's looking for the girl, he actually reunited the two of them, right? Like the burger that she got was probably the senator's daughter he was looking for, right? She was looking for. No, that kind of.
I haven't gone that far yet.
The best burger in town, yeah.
Well, that's the ad, right?
Yeah, they send the burgers in for DNA testing.
They didn't. I don't.
Okay. Can you get DNA from cooked meat?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
No.
I think you probably could in a way nowadays, but they didn't have that stuff back then, right?
No. But I'm just curious now. Like, if you cook, can you get the DNA from it if it's cooked? I suppose because they can get DNA from like old bodies from I don't know how many years ago.
I don't know if it's
to the molecular level, right, and turn it to liquid, so like they can get like a mammoth's blood, so they can figure it out.
Yeah, I'm wondering. That's something I'd have to Google, but then I don't want to get flagged.
I'm pretty
Yeah, you get a flag in Canada, it'd be even worse.
Get a knock at the door, like, yeah, come with us. We'd like to bring you down to this station to ask you a few questions.
I think cooked, they could tell what species it is, but like uncooked, they could probably like because it's still kind of bloody. They might be able to get some.
Oh, uncooked for sure. They could get DNA. That's not without
Oh, yeah.
question. I mean, if it's cooked, like, can you get DNA from, like, so, you know?
I guess maybe if you order your burger raw, man, or medium raw.
Well
like,
done, but
I like
now
it.
with the smash burgers, it's they're all well done burgers now with smash burgers, right? They're so thin and cooked. So make sure you just serve smash burgers.
Well, isn't it like there's always a percentage of like there's that rumor that there's always a percentage of human meat inside of meat anyway.
Okay.
Like that, all the processed minced meat because somebody might have like cut their finger or skin particles fall in.
I mean, for how large the meat industry is, a lot of people would have to be losing a lot of fucking fingers to have human fucking. Like you'd be fucking.
That's the rumor, right?
You have people working in these shops that would just have nubs left, like.
Because what happens if somebody falls into the meat container? Do they just like keep it going? Like we've all seen those like little horror clips on.
Goose. He's the only guy I know that says
there's not enough hush money in the world for people at that factory to not be like, yo, don't eat that. That meat came from our shop. Like that's Ted, man. Don't eat. You're eating Ted right now. Like.
Did that come from Tyson's?
Yeah, exactly. Like, nah. For sure, they shut that shit down and clean the machine. And they need to have like fucking workers' comp come in, see like how much they have to pay out for the work accident to the family.
Well, maybe the owner comes in and finishes the job and like they're like throws the whole guy in.
Nowadays that would never happen. There's too many people working in these factories. They're too big now.
Yeah.
Like back in the day it was smaller mom and pop places. You could get away with it, but nowadays
they get free bag.
Like you got 100 people on the floor working in these factories now,
Yeah.
They'll get a free body
totally.
bag. Yeah. We gotta ask Goose, man. He's the only friend we have that like said that he's really interested in eating human meat. So yeah.
I would try it too.
He said that? I'm not sure. I'm not letting you get away with that, Johnny. I'm not sure he said that.
Yeah, when we were teasing him when he kept like talking about all those cannibal movies, like on that Halloween special we did where we were talking about our fun movies. Yeah, I teased him and he said like he would try it.
Maybe. I'm not. I'd have to rewatch the episode. I'm not gonna. Yeah. So I'm not sure Goose said that.
He's from Texas, man. Like, what do you expect?
Oh shit! I mean, there is that like part of everybody that says I'd try it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've eaten
alligator, kangaroo, emu.
Yeah, I mean, I've cut myself before while cooking and stuff, or the grater. You get a little bit of skin. It's not like, I'm sure my wife's eaten some of my skin from grating it off with, or chopping this tip of my finger, and I'm like, oh, where'd it go? Like.
They already cooked.
Oh well.
Yeah.
A little bit of blood from chopping stuff. It's like
Oh god.
There was a guy who had his foot amputated and he made tacos for his friends out of it.
Oh my god, that's disgusting. There's a thing for a while that women were eating the placenta from their babies, like
well, they turn them into like medicine pills, don't they? Like little vitamins.
Yeah, but people would have parties, like women for a while there in the late 90s, early 2000s. They're having placenta parties where they'd like make stuff out of the placenta, and
like a hamburger or something.
I don't know, like casseroles or lasagnas. I don't know. Fucking
man.
I heard about these placenta parties, It's like, what the fuck, man?
That makes my stomach curl, like, just thinking about that,
Like, I don't know if those are urban legends, but I heard of these, like, kind of, it's supposedly super nutritious.
Yeah, no, there's health, like Charlie was saying, like, yeah, they put it in like the little plastic pills, and you're supposed to just swallow it. Like it's the same thing. Like if you supposedly put poop in a little pill and take it, it's supposed to like help your stomach and help your.
Well, I don't think you just literally take poop because I've heard because I have Crohn's, so
Yeah, you get turd transplants, right? They put another person's
They
poop
give you,
and it helps you poop.
they have factories that you can ask, they'll pay you for your shit, but you have to send samples in and they test it to help people that have digestive problems to give you the bacteria enzymes you need to digest things properly. So it's like pills that you take that are from other people's, that are made from other people's feces to make your gut health, to replace whatever your body's not producing in your gut for proper digestion.
That's what you make your next comic about, Charlie.
I don't think so. I don't want to do anything about
the poop pill industry.
Poop.
Poop pill industry.
No, I've already shit in a box and sent it in for samples, and I think that's as far as I need to go.
Yeah, I've gotten used to that because I got Crohn's, so I have to send in shit samples like at least every year, every 6 months, something like that.
Oh yeah.
Getting
I had
old
to do
sucks.
the see if you have something in your, I don't know, your intestines or something, shit in a box.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun though.
Oh yeah, it's great. Fucking my wife's like, oh my god, I don't know how you can do that. I was like, you're still younger than me. Wait, you'll probably have to do it eventually before you die. You'll probably have to shit and send it in to a lab to have them test it for something.
Yeah, totally.
Young people are like, what the fuck are these people talking about? You're all too young. You don't know. It's coming. We all get there unless you die young.
It happens.
Don't have to, you don't have die young and you won't have to do this. But once you hit like past your 40s, 45, 50, you're probably going to have to play with your poop. Well, play with it, but send your poop into a lab somewhere to have it tested for something.
Make little action figures out of it. You know?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
crap.
Colonoscopies, you're going to have to drink that shit. Oh, that liquid you have to drink is just god awful.
Yeah.
You'd think they'd come up with a better, like something that's more enjoyable to drink. So you're like, oh, this isn't half bad.
Oh, no. they put a lime in the one that I out here, and like it's even worse, bro. Like with the lime flavoring in it.
Like after the third, what is it? You have to drink.
You got to chug the whole thing. Like it's like a bleach jug, pretty much.
Ounce.
Fill it up with water, and like
every
it's more than 8 ounce, man.
Minutes, you have to drink 500 milliliters. So by the time it comes out to 2 liters total. Anyway, by the time you get halfway through, you're like gagging trying to chug this stuff. Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It has that chalkiness to it, aftertaste.
You're in Canada too, right? So like you said milliliters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Trying to figure that out. Like what the hell is a milliliter?
Yeah, that's let's say 350 milliliters, about 12 ounces, because that's a Coke can.
Okay.
Or Coke can's 12 or 16 ounces?
6.
12.
12, my bad.
12, 12 ounces, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 ounces, yeah.
So, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's why we call the show How'd We Get Here, because we go on tangents like that.
Yeah, how'd we get here? It went from cannibalism to
poop
digest to poop pills. Yeah, exactly. Because from placenta to poop pills to
good times,
good,
man. Yeah. I just gotta hand it to you though. Like, this was probably one of the easiest, most fun Kickstarters I backed, because like literally, like I said, I paid $13 for the whole book, and then it was 2 weeks until I had the book after the campaign, which I've only ever had one other guy on Kickstarter like do stuff like that. Like the dude, Aaron Reese, who did Black Blizzard, he was the only guy that literally got the book to me in like a week or 2 after the campaign, which is cool.
I really wanted it to be important to like start off with a bang, right? Because nobody knew who I was, first of all, and then like I don't want anybody to sit around for like a month or two and then get a book eventually and then you forget about it. Like those are the type of books that I get kind of not really mad about, but upset. Like if it's like a year or two later and I have no idea that I even bought this book and I forgot about it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want those type of situations to happen to anybody. So. And it sucks too that Kickstarter doesn't like pay you out right away for once it closes, and it's like 2 weeks after, right?
Yeah, up to 2 weeks. Yeah.
So I wasn't shipping as soon as it stopped, and then just fulfilled right away, and then just waited for that Kickstarter money to come back in. So I don't know, and I've got positive reviews about that, and I think that's really cool to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think
if they didn't just shoot themselves in the nuts, man, like you'd probably have a pretty good return for your next book. Like you'd probably double, like that's a thing. Like
Yeah.
once you've driven yourself on Kickstarter, you kind of just grow and grow and grow, or you used to be
Right.
able to. Like who knows what it's going to be like now, but
yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, money talks, right? So if they go with these policies and they see how much money they're losing, they might revisit their guidelines and stuff, after a few months. They might be like, okay, we kind of see the error where we might have been too strict, and so they might revise it after a while, because if they're like, you go out of business, I mean, for what? Because you don't want people to show nipples? Like, you're willing to how many millions of dollars are you willing to lose to make everyone look like a Barbie? No genitalia, no nipples.
Yeah, for rated R material. I mean, I guess maybe Tommy's would be NC-17. Like,
yeah, I'll give it an NC-17 for sure.
Yeah,
but, just for that interaction with the mother and father.
Right.
Otherwise, it would be it would probably be.
I don't know if he just made the book about abuse and gore, like they wouldn't have a problem with it. Like literally, the sexual element is the only thing that's putting this book's future at risk too on Kickstarter, which is fucking hilarious to me. Like, not that I'm one of these people that's afraid of like horror and thinks gore should be like censored too. Like I don't, but like I think that should be a little more affecting towards children than like looking at a naked girl. I never understood that thing that like, oh my god,
I think it's a combination of the two. Like the suit, it's kind of the combination of the violence with maybe it's not really, there's no sexualization there, but you have like
it's not that you're gonna get off to.
Yeah. So I mean, I think there might be a combination of the two there, because otherwise they're never, violence with the sex. I think that might be too much for people, but I mean, it happens. I mean, that's what.
Yeah, totally. Right.
But according to the rules, like the violence isn't what is ever going to put his book in jeopardy.
If it's just violence alone, then they won't have an issue with it. You could have someone blasting people's brains out for 52 pages straight, and it'll be like fine. But
you put a pretty naked lady in it. Oh my god!
Put a girl with nipples, and oh my god! Look,
it makes no sense, right? It's like they're just going backwards all the time in history.
Yeah. Oh, there's a nipple. Look at fucking Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. Like the world came to an end. Fucking that Super Bowl.
Well, the good thing though, they did hold that up. Like when the Maroon 5 guy performed at the Super Bowl and showed his nipples, like they called in and complained, just like they did with the Janet Jackson. He got in trouble for it too. So like at least like the troops in the NFL were equal.
Consistent.
Yeah, persistent.
Regardless of sex. Yeah.
I don't want to see Maroon 5 nipples, man. Like I don't want to see Maroon 5 period.
Yeah, I'd rather see Janet Jackson nipple than Maroon 5 nipple.
But I mean, even go to a store and seeing like the covers of some of the magazines, like I don't know if you would have Borders up there, Joe.
Yeah.
Or not Borders, but Noble, whatever it's called, the bookstores. Well, when you see like those fashion magazines, they show that like they're revealing see-through tops are usually for the fashion magazines. Is that going to be also
that's art?
A banned topic, right?
Yeah, that's art. Okay, so and art's such an abstract definition. Every person's definition of art changes from one individual to the next.
Right, your own perception of what you think.
Yeah, exactly. From one person will call it trash. That's not art. Another person will say it's the highest form of art. So how can you define what art is? It's such a hard thing to define.
Well, another thing though is with these rules, like DC couldn't run a Kickstarter for like classic Wonder Woman because she's basically wearing lingerie for the most part. There's a lot of vor themes going on in the book. So like,
every fucking superhero costume is basically.
Jim Lee, Chris Claremont, X-Men couldn't be sold because of Psylocke and the White Queen and stuff. They were wearing lingerie. They were all over the cover.
But that was hot though, right?
Yeah, like that's why I read X-Men.
Little kid, right? Yeah.
Every female superhero costume wouldn't be allowed.
For real. Like big too. Like we're talking about Marvel wouldn't be able to run at least their classic one. They kind of dress everybody up now. Like Psylocke, she's got like a zip up bodysuit. Last I saw, I don't know, she's running around with the little thong bodysuit again. Like that whole '90s thing got really retro at Marvel again. So maybe they do have her in that, but I'd be surprised. Like, but if they do, they wouldn't be able to sell an X-Men comic because Psylocke got her booty kind of hanging out because she's got a thong bikini bodysuit on. And like there was no problem with me buying that comic book in like 1993.
No, I mean I was really happy to see that kind of stuff when those comics are coming out, right? And that's why I loved Image Comics so much too. They were just all over the place with that kind of stuff. Everybody's just losing their clothes left and right.
Marvel even did a swimsuit edition.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah,
like no, and like Rogue, like if you remember the Rogue page, she literally had her nips kind of poking through her bathing suit. You could totally see like it drawn.
There were nips poking out everywhere in comics back in the 90s.
Yeah,
fuck.
Yeah.
It was Nipple Nation.
Every artist is doing it.
Yeah,
right.
Especially
even like that book that you were showing the other day, like with Jason Pearson stuff. Remember when he did the Gen 13 cover, the Janet Jackson cover?
Yeah.
Where it's like the holding the Fairchild's breast, right?
Yeah, grunge. Yeah, behind her holding her. Yeah, exactly. And those were teenage characters. Oh my god!
Teenagers have boobs.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah, well, whatever. Like at least it was like they were the same age. Like grunge was. It would be one thing if like the old guy that like kind of that ran.
Oh, Lynch.
Yeah, Lynch was doing it. You know what I mean? What's up?
Oh,
Joe?
yeah.
Take it easy, Milo. Milo's got a jump.
Milo's one of the artists in the book. He did the last page, the painting in there.
Yeah,
and he didn't know what the subject matter was.
The centerfold painting, yeah.
No, he did the very back page. The centerfold's Aster D. He's from it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. This one. Okay,
this is Melo's art.
I love that.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, the funny thing was he didn't know the content of the book at all. So like after the book was done, and I shipped him some, for his.
Yeah. He's like, oh shit, what did I get myself into?
Like, one of my first paintings published is in a crazy book.
I'm going on a fucking watch list now.
Yeah, this is great though. This is probably like the most like usable picture of Tommy in the skin suit. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a clear definition of what he's trying to do. Like he's like, looking at himself as that, I'd fuck me type guy,
Yeah, you were. I think you asked like what people would expect for another Kickstarter. Like maybe make a print of that. Like that'd be cool to have on the wall.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I wanted to do like I might actually take Joe's idea and do the
like for the skin suit
fold out.
Yeah, pattern for the skin suit. Yeah, or the apron or whatever. Yeah. Like, here's the pattern you could use to make your own skin suit.
Because that's really cool. That's a cool idea. Because you could actually do it where, do you remember like in the old Kinkos and stuff, you could go and do enlargements of things with a little circle. What the hell is it called?
Perspective wheel. No, there you go. Not perspective. Proportion wheel.
Yeah, so you could scale up your artwork or whatever. So you could actually take it to like a copy shop and then blow it up to the size you need for your skin suit.
Exactly. Yeah.
That'd be really awesome, man.
Yeah, you just put the scale like proportion, like how many percentage, and then they just go and
yeah, because it has to like maintain that like old schoolness to it, like how you would actually use a copy machine or one of those OSE machines.
Find a mortuary with some dude that's doesn't mind money, then pay him off and get a few body parts here and there.
Tell people to watch Grave Robbing for Morons so you know how to do it right. Like have Anthony show you how to take a skull off a body and shit, like classic video.
Yeah,
dude, like even Matt King's Tales to Enlighten, right? He's got those ads in there that are fucking funnier than shit, and I'm like,
well, there's another book that if Kickstarter changes their rules, that book would have never been made.
Yeah,
it would have never gone to print if Kickstarter ran with the rules they want to go with now. Tales to Enlighten wouldn't have
Yeah. Well, James Edward Clark's Pissant Apocalypse wouldn't have been able to be printed,
Nope.
which sucked. That's one of my favorite graphic
Yeah.
novels.
There's so many books that are great that with the new rules we won't get books like that anymore through Kickstarter if they stick to their guns. And
yeah, I think the only book that I got that I really loved that probably would have still been able to run would have been like Everything is Super, because there's like no nudity really in that at all. Like I guess there
I
is,
think
but he doesn't ever like show it off in like any of the promotion. It's always just Lloyd in the
yeah,
the promo.
I think if you don't show anything, I think you should slip by. I don't think they'll. I think they're just doing it to like be nice to the credit card company.
Yeah.
Or the payment processor.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like
everyone's gonna learn like this secret language, right? Like the emojis,
like YouTube.
Whatever. Yeah, and people will just be writing in this like encrypted language that only
Nick.
We all will learn. Yeah.
Nick Curtis, who I talked to about this, he kind of pointed this out to me before I talked to you about it, Saboteur. But like he basically said that my bad. I kind of forgot what I was going to say. Hold on, here, let me
Oh, you're bringing up your DMs?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's
Oh, he said that like Kickstarter was Stripe was already doing this to books that Kickstarter already like made hella money on. Like they were like refusing to process the payments because they didn't.
Shit, is that what happened to fucking what's his name? The Fourth Father?
Maybe.
Like they started taking,
because he said that like this has already happened to certain books that like Stripe already told them that they wouldn't process payments because of the subject.
Okay.
Shit, because I know on the Fourth Father, I was listening to Ink Pulp the other day, and they said they started processing payments. Like he's got over 1,000 backers. They did 50, and then they stopped processing. And they've been sending messages to Kickstarter. What's going on? It's been 5 days. You've only processed 50 pledges, and they've got over 1,000. And that Kickstarter did gangbusters too.
Yeah.
So
but Mateo's book isn't like terrible or anything.
I have no idea. I haven't read it. I don't know what the like.
I have the first issues or that preview issue of it,
but I don't know what's going on. Like maybe they got, I don't know, because they said, and they're getting super pissed. They're like, the campaign's over.
Yeah,
they're waiting for their money so they can like start printing and and
I'd say it's a safe bet that's what happened, man. To tell you the truth,
because they said all of a sudden 50, they processed 50 payments. And people have been sending messages like, what's going on? It says the campaign's done. They haven't taken my pledge. They haven't taken the payment for my pledge yet. And this was just one of the more recent episodes. And they hadn't gotten any word back from Kickstarter. What the fuck's going on, right? I don't know if that was something with his campaign that there was something in it where did he have someone with exposed breasts somewhere? Or I have no idea. Like,
I was all over that Kickstarter. I don't really remember anything like.
No,
really
there's nothing
on there.
But they've been finding it weird.
Unless the copy itself on the actual Kickstarter said something about being mature or something, maybe that could flag it. Kind of like what happened to me with Gumroad, but
yeah, I'd have to go back and look because they were talking about it. I was just listening at work, like to podcasts, and they were saying. It's weird because usually within 48 hours, they've collected everyone's pledge.
Yeah.
And here they started collecting, got to 50 pledges, stopped, and it had been 2 days and they hadn't collected any more. It's not like it was a slow trickle. It's like they took 50 and all of a sudden it stopped dead in the water. And they've been sending messages to Kickstarter with no reply. Like,
that's like it's a matter of minutes before I get your pledge.
Exactly. Like you get both emails. One right after the other, like this campaign was successful. Then within a minute later, we've collected your pledge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like waiting days for that. That means I guess that would be one. Even though I don't know what they could have pulled their card for. That's insane.
Yeah, dude, that's why I hope that they didn't print already, and then they were just waiting for the collections all to clear. Yeah, I thought that Sean did that with his art book. He already printed it beforehand.
Yeah, as soon as the campaign's done, it's successful. Okay, send it to printer.
Yeah,
Then this shit happens, and you're like, I'm
so
on
that's
the hook
100 grand out of the dude. No
I'm on
way.
the hook for like 30-40 grand worth of printing costs, and that's why I'm wondering, like, that's dirty pool if they don't.
That's screwed up.
Yeah,
that's when you have to go to a publisher like damn, I don't know, Image
Living
or
the life.
PowerPulp or somebody. I don't know.
Yeah. PowerPulp, yeah, because they've also printed one of my, or have one of my favorite transgressive books, Derelict, and Wrong Side of Town by yeah, those are very gnarly. You'll dig them. They're very exploitative. Like Wrong Side of Town's kind of very Benjamin Mara Night Business ish.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I don't know. We're living in a fucked up ass backwards world.
Yeah, where they could tell you what you can or can't spend your money on. This is the land of
or where you can host your stuff at, right? Like you can't like. So I'm trying to build my site somewhere else right now.
Yeah.
I guess maybe go to Big Cartel, because like Gumroad, like a lot of people were dissatisfied with the way they kind of run stuff and left a couple years ago. Like a lot of people I know like haven't even.
What is it? There's Big Cartel. Is there any other ones still around?
Big Cartel. You can Etsy is okay. Yeah, Etsy.
Etsy makes you like you have to like those. A lot of these platforms make you continuously pay, right? Like Etsy, you keep paying every. I don't know.
Okay, it's like a monthly fee for.
Yeah. Right. Whereas like something like Gumroad, they don't charge you anything until there's a sale, which is nice.
Okay, they took like a percentage off every sale, and that's how.
Like 10% or something like that. But if you think about it, like you're not paying for the hosting and all that other bullshit that you have to pay for with all the other platforms, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of works itself out in the long run.
Yeah.
So, but now with like AI, you can just build your site up really fast and then just host it somewhere for free.
Yeah.
That shit. And there's one that like makes so much money on Kickstarter, and I get so pissed off every time I see it. Like, oh man, like I can't believe that like that shit's allowed.
You mean the AI art for the covers and stuff?
No, not AI cover for the art. There's one guy that literally does like his book with AI, and then he goes in and fixes like the hands and stuff with Photoshop, and like he puts it out and like as a comic book. Devil's Coil? No, yeah.
Don't know.
I never heard of it.
The Devil's Coil, yeah. Well, the reason why I remember it is because I always mistook it with the Frank Martin and Gerald book, Immortal
Coil.
Yeah. And like, so I'd always be looking at it and I'd be like, oh man, Frank's not working on a AI book, and they're looking like, oh, that's not the right one. Okay, cool. So
I'll check it out. I didn't hear anything about it.
There's 5 issues.
Yeah, he did a trade. That was the last one I think that he did, right? And I was just like, man, and it does a couple hundred.
But how do you know it's AI? Like, there's people talking about it?
No, he says right there in the description. He doesn't hide it. He says that like I use AI
straight up. Okay,
gotcha. Well, that's because he says it straight up, then instead of like trying to hide it and go around the bush about it.
Yeah.
So at least there, it's people are backing it, knowing full well what it is. Then
yeah,
I mean,
he's got to have a pretty good program, because it doesn't look like the normal plasticky shit looking AI too. Like it almost looks like I don't know, kind of a really bland Ben Templesmith.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, society will dictate what's acceptable, right? Like these people are making it. If people are buying it, then
we're gonna have like Tunk Safur comic books made by AI, and like what's her name, Cappuccino Ballerina, all that fucking pretty broad shit.
Like when people started producing comics digitally, like through Photoshop and let's say fucking Procreate, and people are like, oh, then there was a little bit of pushback on that, but then people started using it, and it's just the evolution.
People have to use, right?
Yeah. You still have to know how to draw though with that. Like you can mess with it so you don't have to erase and redraw shit all the time.
To a certain point, because there's certain textures and brushes you can use that. Yeah. Okay, do that traditionally, and the person wouldn't know how to mimic that traditional. No. Like it's still shortcuts and cheating a little bit digitally.
I mean, I know all our friends that color digitally. That's because they don't like know how to really color, but like they can kill it with the digital. So like, I
Yeah,
don't.
and listen, it's a tool,
Yeah.
and like, you don't like it, you don't like it. If you dig it, you dig it. I mean, I'm not here to tell people, but you can't tell me what I can think and what I can't think. If I don't
No,
view it as art, then look, there's a lot of people that'll take photography and just trace over photography for their art.
yeah. Tim Bradstreet.
The Shepherd Fairy, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, and I don't really consider that comics or art, but some people like it. I think visually it can lead to interesting things, but you're not really drawing. Like, I mean, it's more graphic design than anything as far as I'm concerned. You know,
Right.
so, but I'm splitting hairs now, right? That's like you're getting into, you know, can you draw anatomy? If someone stood in front of you and you had to draw them, not from tracing a picture, but take a pencil and reproduce them on paper without any help, just your eye in your hand, would you be able to do it? Would you be able to study that anatomy and understand it? That's part of art, is the study of the form, the perspective, and being able to reproduce that by hand without using a tool that interprets it for you, right? So, I mean, that's just my personal view, but other people are like, no, it's art.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So,
I don't know. I like some Tim Bradstreet covers, man.
Yeah. And I mean, what's his name's guy who works with Jeff Lemire?
Greg Land, right? He's the King Tracer.
Yeah.
He's like making fun of like he just wrestlers.
Andrea.
Yeah.
Oh, Andrea Sorrentino supposedly used AI. That's never been proven.
Not AI, but I mean, a lot of his stuff is for just photo like.
Yeah.
It almost looks like he just takes a picture, boosts up the contrast, and then fucks around with it. Right? Touches it up, and
how do you feel about Alex? Like. How do you feel about Alex Ross, who needs to dress up mannequins but to paint them?
Well, it's because it's cheaper to do that than pay
models.
Model. Yeah, exactly. Right. So, you know, I mean,
but it's the kind of the same.
That's real art, though. That's like looking at Lindecker or somebody like that. They always had the
put an apple. It's no different than put an apple and painting an apple. That's
I kind of all these people as art though. Like Tim Bradstreet, I've tried to trace photographs. I can't make my shit look anywhere near as good as him. You know what I mean? And I'd say like I'm an all right artist. You know what I mean? So like
I haven't heard that name in forever. Is he still even around?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I just remember him like we were talking about the Garth Ennis Punisher stuff.
Yeah.
He did all the covers for that.
I think he mainly does covers work now.
He's only ever really did covers. He did interiors for a few things. Like I have a Clive Barker graphic novel that he drew, and I think that's the only thing I've ever seen him really do interiors on. Though he's a cover guy. Mostly.
Yeah, I just haven't seen his stuff forever. It's kind of wild because you guys did say the Punisher, so that's how I knew him. Not.
Well, whenever you talk about tracers, like Bradstreet comes right into my mind. But like, he's still amazing though. Like his shit looks like real. Like,
I mean, I'm not saying it can't look good.
His Hellblazer covers were sick. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm not saying it doesn't look good or it's garbage. I'm just saying now, if you want me to define what I view as art,
yeah, definitely.
I mean.
Well, you're way better than I am too. So, like anybody that's kind of better than me, like I got respect for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if they can like perform at that level constantly. Like
because I've worked in graphic design and I've done that. Take a picture, boost the contrast. Yeah. You know, it's a quick, easy way to do it. You know, like if you want to figure, and like I was saying when we were talking,
Jonathan Hickman did with his first two graphic novels. Nightly News and Pax Romana were made graphic design style with high contrast photographs.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, a lot of people do.
A lot of manga still does that, right?
Who? Yeah,
they just take a picture of their street and then just like they boost it in Photoshop.
Yeah,
contrast out. Yeah.
It's a quick way. Like if you're on a fucking deadline, you're like, fuck it.
Yeah, totally.
You took the pic, which I have no problem with if you're the one who takes the picture, but if you're going on Getty using other people's photography, if you're the one who's taking the photography, then you're still part of the process 100% every step of the way because you went out with a camera or your phone and you took that picture.
Yeah.
You took the angle, you decided the framing, but when you're using other people's pictures, so you're taking someone else is involved in your art. You didn't produce that 100% because you're using someone else's eye.
Yeah.
Like someone else's eye took that original picture that you're using as reference. So I mean, you're not 100% the artist of that piece you produced.
Yeah, I knew
unless
a guy
you took the picture yourself.
back in the Facebook days when I was on Facebook. He ran a boutique label called Optimum Head Wound or Optimum Wound Comics, and like he did his graphic novels, like he drew the characters, but like he'd go out to like junkyards or like parking lots and like take pictures of crazy fences, because I hate drawing fences too, man, especially chain link ones. So that's probably what I do, is go out and take pictures of chain link fences to put in my fucking comic.
But if you have the time, if you have the time, it's kind of relaxing and meditative to do that.
No, it's nerve wracking because I always mess it up.
Really, I find it like drawing repeat patterns is very calming and soothing for me.
No, dude, even drawing chains sucks. I hate drawing chains as well.
I love drawing chains.
No, chains.
I love it
because you can go really expressive with chains. That's usually how I draw them. As I go stylized with them, I don't try to actually draw a real.
But
chain.
If you're in a rush, then those things suck. Drawing those things when you're in a rush, when you have a tight deadline, you're like, fuck, But if you have the time to take the time, it's like, all right, time to chill.
But when I see it, like that'll blow my mind. When I see an artist draw like a really clean chain link fence, I'll be like, fuck, this guy's got it, man. Like, look at that.
Yeah, that's like too much, man. I'm just like, damn, I gotta get out of here for that kind of stuff. It's like I can't do that. Anything that takes like, I don't know, an hour just to do one little piece of something, I just avoid, 100%.
Watching your Instagram where you're doing your thumbnails and your breakdowns, like you work pretty fast. You're almost like our friend Schlepzig was, man. Like you bust them out. Of course, it's sped up and edited, but like a lot of it's kind of in time, though. You know what I mean? And like you only sped it up by like what, 4 times or?
Oh yeah, I mean they're shitty sketches though too. So it's not like you can see like this is what they look like, right? They just look like they're really bad.
Yeah, but
and
sometimes
that's basically how the story
sketches,
is,
man.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck. Sometimes you could just get the movement, the gesture of it perfect, and trying to reproduce it after. You're like, you just don't get that same vibe sometimes.
Right. It's like the energy's gone, right?
That's what I'm exactly. The movement, the energy. So
I try to scan this and then reuse it on the actual boards, but it gets too tight afterwards, and I start to hate it.
Yeah, that's why I strongly suggest anyone that wants to learn, like when we did art class, you always start the class with gesture drawing, just to warm up. And sometimes you'd bang out some killer fucking pieces with the gesture drawing, because you'd have like a minute, right? So the model would take a pose, and you'd have a minute, and you're working on these big pages, so you could really like go at it, like full, like arm gest, like, and you get some really dynamic shit out of it, and you'd be like, fuck. Yeah. And you'd like get the pose, and it'd be exaggerated a little bit, and it would be killer. Like, and you're like, fuck, I gotta try to learn to exaggerate a little more to really emphasize like the movement or even the curve of like, women have nice curves, and sometimes you just gotta exaggerate a little bit just to really emphasize it, and so it reads to the reader a little more. Like
I think too, like for instance, where you're talking about women, like when they arch their shoulders inward, like there's a like a reaction with the collarbones and all the stuff that's holding in that I think is really missing sometimes from comic books. And some guys really do it really well, and you're like, damn, you can see that, and you're like, damn, they know how to do it.
Exaggerate it a little bit too. Yeah, it's really emphasize it. Yeah.
A lot of female artists
really good.
A lot of female artists really nail the female form. I noticed, man. Like some of my favorite, like Fiona Staples and
oh yeah, totally.
Danny, and there's a couple that just really I think draw kind of the most attractive like females in comics that I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
More realistic looking too. Yeah, we talked about that with Nick the other night. Yeah, I mean I do like the old '90s style where like the Hooters were way huge and shit like that.
The hips, their waist was like.
Yeah, I love
their waist was as small as their necks, and
I love enough room for the spine. Yeah,
Tony Daniels the 10th. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's fun.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm worried about
funny, I
little
haven't heard
boys
that.
that aren't into that in comics. You know what I mean? Like a little bit. Not that it's a bad thing. I mean, like there should, like, if they're into Gambit, that's cool too. Like I don't mind. You know what I mean? Because that's always been a thing in comics too. Like a lot of people are always like, well, why don't they do like body positivity in comics? I'm like, well, why doesn't Superman look like Gary Shandling? He doesn't need to be ripped and to have his powers. He could be like a fat, ugly little troll man. You know what I mean? But like, no, he's drawn as like just this big, beautiful, hunking guy. And it's just kind of a thing, you know what I mean? Like that's just
it's just like your ideal person, right?
kind of, yeah.
If you wanted to do it as a body positive thing, you could do that as well. But like usually, it's a big brawn guy that you think is a.
Well, that's the funny thing. Like the body positivity thing kind of only goes one way. Like I mean, like any kind of body should have positivity towards it, even a good-looking one. Damn. What's wrong with that? Sorry. I'm kind of talking like
you're right.
Hey.
I'm letting my hair.
It's not for nothing that people go to pay to see the statue of David. How many millions of people go to the museum to see the statue of David every year,
And he's hanging like it's cold outside, man. Like,
yeah, they're gonna have to get rid of his penis. It's offending people. They're gonna have to chisel it off.
Yeah, Venus de Milo. Like you can't look at her no more. She's done.
Yeah.
Well, like
that's the one with
when they had the Khmer Rouge come in, right? They took off all the titties off of all the statues and the women's faces.
Really?
Right?
That was a whole crazy thing, though. The Khmer Rouge, like you're talking about, like a fucked up,
yeah, that's
right there.
Screwed. Yeah,
Pol Pot and like all that happened. Yeah, that's probably like one of the most tragic things in history. Like so much of the Cambodian culture got wiped out. Like they had some of the craziest, coolest martial arts that are completely dead. They're lost media. Nobody knows them anymore because of what happened. Like that is just unbelievable. And yeah, that happened 50 years
70s.
ago? Yeah.
70s. We're after Vietnam.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
Might happen again with all this
censorship.
Yeah, censorship. It's going to happen again.
Or this is what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, that's to the extreme, but,
Pretty soon, everyone will be banging through holes in a sheet.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild because, like, with the advent of AI running everything pretty soon on the internet, and it's just striking everybody down for whatever they do because you can't hide things anymore, in a way.
You think everybody's going to
be able to?
You think everybody's going to be doing it Lovecraft? You think everybody's going to be doing it Lovecraft style, Joe, through their pants?
Yeah, that's it. Just
supposedly
lights off. It'll be illegal to have sex with the lights on. I mean,
Lovecraft couldn't fuck without his pants on. So yeah.
Get caught banging with the lights on, you're gonna get thrown in jail.
Yeah, even if your wife is pretty enough to look at.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Flesh is sin. Flesh is
terrible.
sin.
Stop.
Flesh is sin.
Shit.
Even when you're married, I'm an extremist. I'm an extremist religious freak.
Yeah.
Even if you're married, flesh is sin. It's for the weak.
Yeah, we watch those. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, even in Indiana, like where I'm from right now, like fellatio is against the law, right? So there's always those weird
that's true.
laws
That's the old law that's existed. Yeah. What was I listening to? And they're like finding all these old laws that are like it's illegal but not enforced, like from back in the day and stuff. And some of the laws.
But if you get caught, right? Yeah, they could enforce it.
Yeah,
and there's like a really
good.
Yeah. There's like a really weird one too here. That's like you can't give a monkey a cigarette. And it's like...
yeah, there's these weird ass laws. I don't know the origin of them. It'd be interesting to look into why they had to make that a law. It must be because they opened a zoo and people were giving the monkeys cigarettes, so they had to put a law.
I mean, you probably had the monkey dancing on the great. You know how they had those little monkeys that would perform,
oh,
right? And then
yeah,
probably gave them
with the little suit at the top, the little hat.
Yeah,
there.
probably 1900s. You know.
Yeah.
Somebody gave a monkey a cigarette. He started smoking.
In the circus, like I've always seen, like the orangutan with the cigar. That's kind of like a classic circus. Yeah. So, like, yeah, maybe that like ties into it a little bit too. I don't know.
I forgot about that.
Maybe they were like the circus in town was giving too many orangutans cancer.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe he's just addicted and he's like causing trouble if he didn't have a cigar in his hand, you know?
Like, throw them at people, like just throw a lit cigar at them.
Or maybe it made the monkeys aggressive, like because they'd want a cigarette, and if you didn't give it to them, they'd get too aggressive.
Yeah, I mean nicotine.
Because of the addiction, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just fucking beat people till they got a cigarette.
And they're strong, so
Yeah,
I mean,
Nick Fit.
they could like rip off your hair and to your skull, basically.
Yeah, I think orangutan's one of the strongest animals with the arm strength, right? Like they have unreal, like they could pull your arm off, from what I understand.
I believe it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to mess with those animals, so.
Oh yeah, I have a healthy fear of anything that's like
Now people are, and if anyone's watching this episode, this is kind of what, when we go off air, these are kind of the conversations we often have with creators when we go off air. So they're getting a little taste of what, like if we put out like a behind the scenes of what goes on, this is pretty much the type of conversations we have when we're not live. So people are getting a little taste of it. So.
No, that's good though. It's good just conversate, and just shoot the shit. Yeah.
So just before we, like, if people want to know, just before we like log out or whatever, you plan on doing any shows or any signings or anything like that anytime, or no, you don't have anything lined up?
No, I don't see the point in like, well, I shouldn't say it that way. I'd love to do a show, but I can't afford to do a $400 table. And then,
with just one book so far available.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? I think down the road, if I had like, once I get the 4 books out, which would be in a couple of years, then I could probably table, but it's not worth it right now.
Yeah, or the trade, or put it together as a collected edition, or then you could go to like some local shops and just do a little.
They wouldn't take me. They wouldn't. They
Oh, they looked at the book and they said, "No, we can't sell this."
No.
Oh shit. Okay.
So I've already ran into problems, and I just if somebody DMs me and that's cool, but that's about it.
So your Saboteur Comics on social, so if people want to go find you, Saboteur Comics.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
He's got the really cute cat icon. Pretty much, that's how you can recognize him. He's got it on his YouTube, on his Instagram.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
What other socials you're on, if you are on any others?
Saboteur. So go keep updates. You want to go find out about anything?
Yeah, I just basically post to Instagram, and then my Gumroad has the issue there now. And there's like a bunch of free stuff on the Gumroad as well. Like you can get some textures or the fonts that I used in Tommy's, the handwritten stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like just type in 0, it's all free.
Cool.
It's how to get around the system,
Gumroad's like, damn it.
Yeah. It works.
There you go.
But yeah, they're good fonts, man. Like I'm always looking for some good creepy fonts.
So man, thanks for coming on. The book is great.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. And
it's definitely
fun.
Definitely for mature readers. Slap that label on there for people just to be, so they're not. But it's a really good book. Definitely, if you're into horror slasher, like Silence of the Lambs type stuff, or Psycho. I mean, you definitely touch on a lot of different aspects of horror in it that people love. So, I mean, any horror fan's gonna love this book. So,
yeah, it's just a sad story. That's all I should put it as.
Yeah. I mean, it's just issue 1 too. So, I mean, yeah. Next year we'll have issue 2.
I'm getting really for the next issues. They're getting it's really getting my blood pumping again to start moving faster.
There you go.
I want to get to the end, and the end is really good, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great first issue, so people should go and look into it, pick it up.
Yeah, definitely. How much does it go for in the wild?
Now I bumped it up to, I think it's like 10 plus the shipping, whatever that is. 6.
Okay.
So it's, something like that. I think.
Right on.
Yeah, because I was trying to cover the constant changes to shipping prices and shit that are always happening.
Definitely, yeah. And
So.
Gas prices are getting crazy, man.
Yeah, anyway, that's a whole We could talk for another hour about all that shit. So, Charlie, man, thanks for coming on. It was great talking to you.
Yeah.
You're often in the live chats and stuff, so it was great to be able to sit here and chat with you in person. Well, not in person, but live. So, yeah, good luck with Tommy's. If people are looking for a good horror, slasher horror, kind of psychological, whatever you want to call it, mindfuck, pick up Tommy's, man. It's a good book. And, so Saboteur Comics, go find him. You can find it on his Gumroad at, I think it's just under Saboteur.
Saboteur Comics.
Yeah, comics on Gumroad, so you can find the book there, order it.
Yeah.
And so pleasure talking to you, Johnny. Do you have any final words?
Just like you said, man, it's great to actually talk to you, Charlie. Like, I had a good feeling about it, but like, yeah, this was a really fun episode. Great talk.
Cool.
Yes, stick around. You know what I mean? Like, I really hope to hear more from you in the future. And yeah, issue 2, can't wait, man. And I remember, like, when we were talking, you were kind of like, I wish I worked faster. I don't have that mindset, man. Like, so many of my friends, like, they have a book out maybe every 3 years, you know what I mean? Because like our buddy Adrian, he's kind of doing more graphic novels now, and like I got no problem. I don't forget about something when I really like it. So I'm gonna stick around, bro.
That's where I was hesitant to when I first released issue 1, because I was like, I'm gonna get to issue 3 and then release it. But I was like, screw it, because I'm just gonna sit around and never do it. So I just did it.
Yeah, I appreciate.
Sometimes getting that feedback from people motivates you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So
yeah, man.
Cool, man.
At it, we're excited. We're happy to see a book like this, and this time, it's a little bit of a breath of fresh air. It's a weird thing to say, but like it is. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy this kind of fiction in a weird way. I don't understand. Like it's like the true crime fans. You know what I mean? Like I did that a little bit too, but like I appreciate it, man. I really like that there is something like this out there. So thank you.
Thank you guys, man. I really appreciate it.
All right, Johnny, you ready?
For real.
It's outro time, man.